Awesome. Welcome everybody to our to our webinar today. Sorry, not podcast. I've been listening to some this morning. Excited to have you. As you enter, we'll get started here in a few minutes, but we'd love for you to be active in the chat. Let us know your name, where you're from, and what's the number one thing you think is holding your firm back from growth. We always love to hear that. And make sure to put your chat on selection to everyone so everyone can participate. And once again, we'll get started here in just a few minutes. Amanda, how's your Tuesday going so far?
So far, so good. I'm joining you from Phoenix, so I'm happy to be in the air conditioning because it's like 110 degrees today. So much needed.
Nice. Yeah, it's a brisk 92 here in Texas today, so it's
So
not too
chilly.
bad. Yeah. It's we had a storm this week. It's cooled it off a little bit, but that's great. Yeah, Phoenix is it's rough. All of my San Diego coworkers are complaining about their sunny 75. It's a little warm for them, I believe. So, but anyway, well, welcome everybody. We'll get started here in just a few minutes on the webinar. In the meantime, while you're here, we'd love to know where you're from, your first name, and what you think is the number one thing holding your firm back from growth. And once again, make sure in the chats that you select to everyone so that we can all see your answers. And we'd love this to be interactive. So we'll get started here in just a few minutes. Scary, San Antonio, nice. Yeah, it's lots of crazy rain, right? But it's nice to have the sun out and not be too crazy hot yet. In Phoenix, you guys have the dry heat, which is nice. Here it's pretty muggy,
Yes.
especially after all this rain.
Anytime I visit Austin, I am very appreciative of the dry heat because it will be about 10 degrees cooler, but for some reason it feels 10 degrees hotter. So I definitely appreciate that dry heat.
For sure. Morgan from Michigan, welcome. Just signed on with Lawmatics, looking with too many manual tasks. Welcome to the webinar. Thanks for joining us. Glad you're here. I've got Tara from Carlsbad, lack of automation. We'll talk about a lot of that. Looks like a lot of these things, case flows in process from Natalia and Oakland. Awesome. We got some people filing in here. So we'll get started here in just about 1 to 2 minutes. Just let a few more people jump in. As we mentioned, we would love to know your name, where you're from, and what you think the number one thing holding your law firm back from growth is. And then just once again, make sure in the chat box to select everyone so that we can all see everything. We've got Amy from Florida. We got people all over. This is great. West Palm Beach.
Boulder.
Greta in the shadow of the White House. Okay, perfect. So I think you're in DC, I'm assuming, unless there's other White Houses. Great to have you. Cool. And so I think we'll probably go ahead and get started here. Perfect. Got it right. Awesome. Um, Great. Cool. Well, we'll go ahead and get started. So thanks again for joining our webinar on CRM and case management, scaling growth for law firms. We're excited to talk to all of you today. We've got some very exciting stuff that hopefully will be helpful in your firm's growth and how you manage your day-to-day operations with technology. We've got a wonderful co-host today, Amanda. We'll do introductions here in a second, but first, just want to make sure we go through all of the housekeeping to make sure that everything is going to be great. So once again, as we've said with some of the people who've joined already, if you're just joining in, we'd love for you to put in your first name, your city, and the number one thing you think is holding your firm back from growth in the chat. And as we continue, just want to make sure on the chat settings, excuse me, that you select everyone so that we can make sure that we see everything. And throughout the webinar, we'll try to answer as many questions as we can as we go on any of the content that you have questions about. Feel free to either use the Q&A button or put it in the chat. We would request the Q&A is a lot easier for us to manage so that we see that, and we will try to get to all the answers in the middle of the session, but we will have a Q&A period at the end. So very excited to hear your questions. Please, if you have them, we want this to be as interactive as possible. And so once again, my name is Blake Roberts. I'm the head of business development here at Lawmatics. I've been in the legal tech industry for about 10 years and worked with Lawmatics for just over about two and a half. And so love doing the webinars. Some of you have probably seen my face on here. I love sharing as much information as I can with you guys and just let you know how everything goes. And Amanda, I'll kick it over to you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Amanda Connolly. I'm a senior partner account manager at MyCase. I have the pleasure of working with our integration partners to bring innovative technology solutions to our users and enhance the overall MyCase experience through great partners such as Lawmatics. I've been in the legal industry for just under 5 years, and I've been with MyCase that whole time.
Perfect. All right, we will move forward here. Just want to cover the agenda. So we've got a lot of stuff to cover today. The first one being we're going to talk about the difference between what a CRM software is and a case management software. So there is some, you know, there's some overlaps and things that we'll talk about, but we'll get to that. The second part is client journey. This is a really important part of almost everything that we do here at Lawmatics for sure, but really just a key element of understanding how your client journey process and workflows all work together and how the CRM and case management will talk with that. We're going to talk about how CRM and case management software work together. And we're also going to talk about tracking and reporting across the systems. And last, just setting up a strategy for scaling those systems for growth. At the end, like I said, we will have time for Q&A. So be sure to put your questions in the Q&A section so we can make sure that if we don't answer them during the session, we'll get to them there. But without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started. And so what is the difference, right? So I think a lot of times, especially at conferences, I think a lot of people in the industry, they know what a case management system is or practice management system. CRM is a little bit newer and sometimes is a feature within some of those products. But we want to make sure that the first thing is to distinguish what really dictates a CRM product and a case management product. And so I'll start with just the CRM side of things. So CRM stands for customer or client relationship management software. And really what it handles is the intake, the marketing, the communication. We'll talk about where it fits in the client journey here in a little bit. But anything through emails, SMS, your marketing, your appointment, a big piece of it is the intake side of things. So the tool that you use to get a lead to hire and all of the automation that goes in through there. Tracking your marketing, running your marketing campaigns, doing all of your audiences, anything pre and post case communication is going to be there, whether you're doing newsletters, all of your custom forms for intakes, any notes on the clients. It's really the best way to look at it is it's your single source of data for all of your contacts, whether they hired you or not, whether they're a prospective lead that fell through, whether they're an old customer that you just want to stay in contact. You can keep your professional contacts in there to track referral sources. But really, it's a software that allows you to manage those contacts, customers, potential customers, and all of the communication that goes within that. And then the case management side, I'll kick it over to Amanda. Oh,
Yes.
first of all, I will tell you what CRM is not. I'm so sorry about that. So it's not case management. Having a CRM it does not mean that you have case management. It does a lot of your contact management, but we don't talk to the courts. We don't do the filings. We don't do the things that Amanda's about to tell you about this. I'll tell you about with case management. But CRM is a foundational part of a growing law firm, especially in today's demographics with just the speed to hire, making sure you have all that stuff in place and things aren't falling through the cracks to get them to the case management side of things.
Absolutely. So, what does case management software actually do? I would say once a client is officially retained, that's when case management really begins. It's where the day-to-day operations of handling a matter are organized and streamlined. So instead of juggling multiple systems or relying on manual tasks, law firms can use case management to access all case-related information and from any device. Case management includes tracking active matters so nothing falls through the cracks, along with storing and organizing documents in one secure, centralized location dramatically reducing time spent searching for information. You're also able to manage deadlines and appointments with built-in calendars, delegate tasks across your team, and keep everything moving efficiently. It streamlines your internal operations and ensures your clients receive consistent and timely communication and customer service. From time tracking and billing to adding internal notes and updates, securely communicating with clients, case management tools help keep everyone aligned. And with payment links embedded directly into invoices now, firms can also get paid faster, making it easier for your clients to pay online, reducing the time spent chasing down payments. Finally, strong case management ensures workflows are followed, your firm stays compliant, helping you deliver the best results with the least administrative overhead. So I'll pass it back to Blake where we can go over what that client journey really looks like.
Awesome, thanks. And so now that we kind of understand the differences, we're going to talk about where they fit in that client journey. And the first thing to understand with that is what is the client journey? So we kind of break it into three phases, right? You've got the first phase is client intake. That's anything from the first moment of interaction where a potential client may find your website or your advertisement, all the way through lead to hire. So they've gone through the intake process, they've gone and signed an agreement with your firm to hire you guys, and you've collected most of the data, you've done all the conflict checks, everything like that. Second phase is they've hired you. This is an active matter. You're actively working on whatever amount of work or whatever case or scope of work that they've offered are paying you to do, right? Active matter. And things are moving along there. They're no longer a prospect, and you're working for the client. The third phase is their former client. The case is done, the work is done, but you still want to make sure that you're getting communication to them, keeping them informed. Maybe they have legal work that they're going to need later on. Maybe there's dates that they need to be cognizant of if there's expungement dates or tax forms or things like that that you're needing to do, or you're just trying to get referrals. It's a huge thing to get referrals from your clients. I think there's a stat that we've seen and used in a couple of our presentations that 75% of new business for law firms typically comes from referrals from former clients. So it's a huge part of the client journey to understand communication, make sure you're staying top of mind. They may have friends, they may need more work, they may be getting a second divorce, they may be getting a second business or something like that, but staying front of mind with them. And so where CRM comes into play with this is really in phase one and phase three. It says phase two here, but phase one and phase three. So lead to hire, making sure all the automation is in place. So the moment they click contact us on your website, you're going to have communication being sent out to them. You're going to have links to schedule consults. You're going to automate all of the forms needed to be sent out for the intake process and collect all of that client data to store it in the CRM product so that you can make sure that it's ready to go once they hire your firm. And then once again in phase three, which is the former client, important communication, right? Staying top of mind. Something as simple as sending out an email to all of your current, potential, and previous clients, sending them a birthday. We talked about expungement dates, any events that your firm's having, webinars, newsletters, staying top of mind to harvest referrals, and importantly too, getting good reviews for your firm so that as that digital presence increases, it's going to just lead to more business, right? So CRM really plays a role in that client intake and the former client aspect.
Yeah. So, I mean, I would look at CRM as really like your external workflows, and where case management is going to help out is those internal workflows. So, it becomes especially important during that second phase, right? When a matter is active and your team is delivering on these legal services. At this stage, efficiency and organization are critical. Case management software helps by tracking case progress, monitoring these key milestones, keeping everything moving according to schedule. You can assign tasks out to your team, set automated reminders, and delegate work across your entire internal team, keeping everyone aligned and accountable. This also helps ensure that deadlines and court dates are never missed, thanks to those built in calendar integrations and automated alerts. When it comes to billing, case management tools will allow you to log time accurately, create professional invoices to send off to clients with that secured payment link, making that an easy and professional way to communicate with your clients and get paid faster. Another major benefit is the secure and seamless client communication during the case. So, with client portals and automated notifications, your firm can be providing real time updates, sharing documents, requesting documents, responding to questions promptly. And this is going to dramatically improve that customer experience. So, when you go back to the CRM portion and you're requesting reviews and referrals, the client is going to feel comfortable doing that because they know the type of service that you've provided. So they really appreciate being kept in the loop, and this level of transparency really builds trust and satisfaction throughout the case. So with this type of platform, it's going to centralize and organize all of that information, ensuring quick access, compliance, keeping peace of mind for both your team and your clients. So I'll pass it back to you, Blake, and we can go over our next section.
For sure. And just to recap, so the three phases and where each of these products works and really fits the role. The client intake is going to be where the CRM is functional for your lead to intake process. Once it's an active matter, all of that data that you've collected pushes into the case management. And that's really where you're going to utilize that case management tool. So it's full leverage, full potential. And then once they're a former client, back to the CRM, staying on top of communication, keeping top of mind. Obviously, there's plenty of other complementary softwares out there that work in different assets of or different aspects of this client journey. This is a really high level overview of understanding where the CRM and case management platforms come into place. And so now we'll talk about how a CRM and case manager work together. We've talked about the differences, what makes them unique, what different areas of the client journey they fit into. But talking about how CRM and case management working together is really important because you have these three phases of the client journey. You don't want things to fall through the cracks. You want something that is fully streamlined, not only for your firm's peace of mind and efficiency, but also for your client experience, as Amanda was talking about. And so with that, it's really important to understand type integrations, right? I think if any of you have ever been to a tech show or legal tech week, or you've been on webinars like this before, you've heard the word integration. And I think similar to just different types of software out there, it's a word that's loosely used, right? So there's things that like Zapier that you can use that can integrate. There's things where it's a function or it's going to set a notification. What's really important to remind yourself about integrations is the best way to do it is find two products with a native connection through their APIs. So this is going to ensure that everything is not going to get broken if a piece of another product falls through. You want to make sure that the APIs are connected, and both of the companies have built this integration together to ensure that all of the data between is pushing between the two products. It's functioning and triggering actions in each product because it's actually connected to the APIs. My case in Lawmatics, we have an API integration. It is active. It pushes data between the two products. And so it's really important, to understand that. There are plenty of products that integrate with Zapier, or they have, some sort of integration where it's a one-way sync that's getting pushed through. Totally fine. It works. But just understanding the difference between a native connection and using a third party is important. And so how integrating your tools supports growth. I think this is really important to understand. Could you be successful with products that don't integrate? Sure. Could you be successful with one product? Maybe, right? But benefits of finding tools that integrate is going to drastically increase the efficiency of your firm. It's going to decrease duplicate entry of data, right? So if you're using a CRM and you're pulling in all this data and using it to its full potential of doing the intake process, it makes no sense for you to have to then go into your case management system and re-enter that prospect after they've hired you and manually push all of that data over. So finding a product that integrates into your case management to make sure that all of that stuff gets pushed through,
And
minimizing oh, go ahead. Yeah.
sorry, I'd add there, it's going to help reduce errors, right? When you have somebody who's looking and they're retyping out information, human error becomes a lot higher. So allowing the systems to push the information that you've already collected is going to help obviously save time, but also reduce those human errors. So I think that's a great call out too there.
Right, exactly. It's going to minimize things falling through the cracks. It's going to streamline your workflow, right? So you're going to be able to set up for success to push everything through the entire process, which takes us to the last point here. Is it increases your ROI on the software that you're paying for. So it's if you're paying for software, you want to get the most out of it, and so being able to utilize tools that talk to each other and create a solution for the entire process of your firm and the workflow for everything there is crucial, right? So we all want ROI. We talk about the money we spend on advertising campaigns or the day-to-day operations. This is part of it. And so being able to have a streamlined solution is only going to help you grow, but it's also going to help you see the most out of what you've signed up for, which is extremely important. And so with this, we're going to talk about the flow kind of from CRM. We've talked about the client journey, but kind of putting it into the perspective of the softwares. So legal CRM is going to have all of your marketing and intake, and it's going to push all of that data over into the case management system, and then back into the legal CRM for reviews, referrals, and repeat business. We've talked about this a little bit in terms of the case management, but really just wanted you to kind of see from the software side of things, not the client journey, where everything happens. A big piece of this is the billing too, right? Just because it's back into the legal CRM for phase three doesn't mean you're not still doing stuff in the case management system. So you're still going to be, I'm sure, having follow-ups and things like that going through in there. Anything you want to add on that, Amanda?
No, I think that you covered it really great right there. It's data flowing back and forth between both systems. I see we had a question about how information is being harvested in Lawmatics outside of my case because they're trying to keep their my case clean. So, I mean, exactly that. You're going to be able to push information that's necessary for the case over into your case management tool and then go back into your CRM and go ahead and do those types of follow-ups, and that's not going to flow back into the case management because it's not necessary to the case. So it helps keep those workflows really clean.
Right, exactly. So yes, and so I saw the question as well. And so Priscilla, this is kind of what we're talking about is making sure that you are collecting the data in Lawmatics during the intake portion, right? But all of that is going to flow into my case, and as long as you have everything set up correctly, it will keep it clean. And we're happy to discuss that with you, whether it's Amanda or myself. Outside of this, we can get you some answers. Cool. So the next thing I want to talk about is the tracking and reporting across systems. One thing I always like to tell people is if you can't analyze it, if you can't track it, there's no point in doing it, right? Like you're just throwing stuff at a board and hoping that you see something in return. And so the great thing is with both of these products, having them and being able to leverage the unique features with them, there's unique functionality or unique reporting and analysis that you can do in both. And so in a CRM, once again, keeping in mind that client journey and where CRM fits, the most important reporting and metrics in this are going to be the business performance, the marketing and the ROI, and identifying the inefficiencies in that lead process and workflow process that is contributing to down dips in profitability. Maybe you're spending too much on a marketing campaign that you're not getting anything from. So being able to track what you're doing from a marketing standpoint, what you're doing in your workflows, and identifying what you need to change. Custom reporting is a big thing too. Finding a CRM that does and allows you to create custom reports so that you can find not out of the box reports that's not going to fit everybody. A lot of default reports are one size fits most. Your firm needs something custom, right? Like you need to be able to pull the statistics and the metrics that you need when it comes to the marketing and the ROI and open rates, right? So that's another big thing. But understanding where clients are falling through the cracks on the intake process, where you when a lead comes through, where is a lead dropping off? Why can't you convert leads past a certain point? Identifying these small things is really important, and key metrics that a CRM will provide is helping from more of the business performance and the metrics around advertising campaigns and everything.
So, key reporting for case management, I would say, has very similar use cases, but just slightly different, right? How we're pulling those reports. So, it's going to help you track performance, uncover bottlenecks, and honestly make smarter business decisions. So, some top reports that you'll see from case management tools would be a case status report. That's going to give you real-time views of where your matters are. Are they open? Are they closed? Are they pending? Are they overdue? This is going to ensure nothing is falling through and helps you better manage your caseload overall. For productivity reports, that's going to offer visibility into team performance by tracking completed tasks, upcoming deadlines, workload distribution. These reports will help you identify who are the top performers at the firm and highlight areas where maybe there's additional support that's needed or improvement just overall. Time and billing reports will allow you to monitor logged hours, unbillable time, the gap between what's billed, what's collected. So this is essential for improving profitability and ensuring accurate and timely billing. And then collections and aging report. This will help show outstanding balances, overdue invoices, and payment patterns, enabling your firm to really take a proactive approach to collections and maintaining a healthy cash flow for your firm. So, with all of these insights at your fingertips, you'll be able to operate more efficiently, maximizing your profitability, looking at both reports, right, from the CRM to the case management is really going to help you make like data driven decisions with confidence because you have that data to back you up both externally, internally, and it just helps you be more proactive with your firm, which I know is like a big thing for a lot of firms.
100% should be if it's not. Which brings us to kind of the topic that we're here, like the main kind of the icing on the cake, the cherry on top, right? Is how do you scale these systems for growth? How do you scale your firm's growth based on this technology? And so setting up kind of the keys to success for this. It's not just signing up for software, right? I think too often we just go and we sign up for software, we met them at a conference, which is great. But if you do that and you don't actually set up the strategy of getting everything in place in the right places, it's really important to see kind of where they're going to fit. And so we'll talk about the keys to success here. And we'll go through each of these, but really it's pretty simple. And three keys to making sure that your products are operating at a pace and an efficiency that's going to help grow your firm and not keep it held back with duplicate entries, stuff like that. It's understanding your workflow. I will talk about this here in a second, but really taking the time to understand your client journey, which I keep saying, but it is very important, mapping that out and taking the time with your staff to understand what each step of the process looks like. Understanding your tech stack. So understanding what products do you use, what products maybe you should look at getting, and where there may be inefficiencies or gaps in the process based from the tech perspective, right? We'll talk about that too. And then understanding and identifying the data that your firm needs to transfer between products. The actions and triggers that need to happen between products. Once you understand kind of one and two, going into three is a really important part of understanding, how am I going to connect these two? How am I going to have them talk to each other? How do these products talk to each other? Is this the right setup for this? So we'll talk about these individually and first with your workflow. This is important. I mean, this is the first step. If you have ever started a business, if you've ever done anything where it's a project, you always start with an outline, right? You want to make sure you go all the way back to the beginning and list out each specific step of your client path, right? The client journey from start to finish. From the moment they reach out to you, the moment they see your listing or search you on Google, all the way to the moment that you're sending them an email for a review or referrals. List out each step. Be specific and detailed. I cannot stress this enough. There's so many times, I could take a firm, work with a firm and put them, you could have 3 or 4 high level steps, but it's so much better to have and make sure that you map out. Spend some time on this with your team. It's kind of the pay me now, pay me later aspect that I'm sure all of our fathers instilled in us, our parents instilled in us is like, be patient. It's gonna work out. There's a light at the end of the tunnel, but you have to put in some work first to get it done. So be specific and detailed. Include your staff's unique responsibilities during each stage of the workflow, right? Where does your paralegal come into play? Where does your office manager come into play? Where does your marketing team come into play? If you don't have those, where are the areas of different, if you're a solo attorney or a small law firm, where are each of you taking on different responsibilities during that process to understand that? This is crucial before you do anything else is to understand all of your client journey, the process, the workflow, and everything like that, so that you can make the adjustments coming up.
100%. I echo Blake there because without having those workflows written out, how do you evaluate a tech stack? How do you determine what is going to be the best? So it's one of those things. Things are great to be in your head, dump it all out, you see it, and you confirm with each of the people at your firm, like, hey, this is exactly what you do. We forget because things kind of go on autopilot, right? Where hey, my staff does this automatically, but like you don't know that necessarily always all the details there. So I would say when evaluating a tech stack, you really want to understand that unique role that each product plays and where it fits into that workflow. So, like I said, ask yourself a few questions like what stage of the client journey does this software support? Is it intake? Is it case management? Is it billing? Is it communication or something else? Does it offer customization? Blake touched on this earlier. Um, Things are great out of the box, but you do need to add some customization to it to really fit your firm's workflows, processes. You want it to be something you guys use, love, and continue on using every day, and it's useful for you. I know we've all heard stories of people buying a product and they don't really know how it's used, and then it feels like a waste of money. And so, really making sure you're matching your tech stack with your firm's actual processes is going to be huge. Does it integrate with other tools that you're already using? If you know, like, hey, I love X tool, I wouldn't buy another software if it didn't integrate there because I need that as a crucial part of my workflow. That's something to flag. Does it have the right security features? Does it have strong encryption? Does it have data backups? These are going to be all areas that you really want to focus on. And then look at gaps in your workflows. Are we still relying on manual work somewhere? Do we lack tech support somewhere else? These will be represented for clear opportunities for improvement. And then you can also analyze like, is there overlapping or duplicate functionality? Is one person at the firm using a tool one way and the other using it a different way? Because that can create inefficiencies and confusion. And then also looking like a CRM and a case management tool. Some case management tools have CRMs. They're very light. When you look at a more robust CRM, it's going to have all of the bells and whistles that you're really looking for. So that would be somewhere where you can look and evaluate your workflows and see like, is this the right tool? And are we using it the proper way? So take time to assess that as you're building out your workflows. And I'll pass it back to Blake to cover our last key.
Yeah, I'll just add on to that. I think a really important piece of this tech stack is identifying, are you using it the correct way? I use the example of if anyone's ever used Salesforce in here, and we use it, it's one of those kind of for large companies, it's necessary, but I always use it. It's like you pay money for something, but if you're not leveraging what it does through integration or the correct way, it's like Salesforce is for some companies, it's a glorified Rolodex. And so you want to make sure that you leverage everything your product can do and analyzing your flow and where each of these products that you pay for can fit in is really going to be crucial for that to make sure that you are getting the most out of it. And then as you're integrating these products, right? So you've understood your workflow, you've mapped everything out, you've analyze kind of your tech stack, identify potential technology that you need to sign up for or that you don't have. You want to make sure you understand what data is going to flow, right? So you can have all of this stuff set up and it's doing things, but if the right data isn't being pushed through, your lead that just signed up, your prospect that just turned into a converted client, if it's not pushing all the information over into your case management system, then something's wrong, right? Like you don't have a true efficient integration. Making sure that the documents flow. Maybe you don't need all of the stuff to go through. Maybe you want to keep that in your CRM for just retainment, right? But tracking all of that stuff, tracking and pushing through all the tasks and automations to make sure that the triggers are working properly and bilaterally. So it's going back and forth. When things happen in one product, it's flagging something in the other. And so making sure that there is this sync, the data is flowing back and forth to make sure that you're understanding your products are not just sending stuff one way to the other, but actually talking to each other and making things happen in both. And the reporting and the metrics. So once again, this is more going to be in the unique platforms. But the data that's coming from both and is going to help create much more robust reporting. It's going to help amplify the benefits that you're going to get from that reporting because as Amanda was saying, you have more of a full scope of the process that you're being able to pull data from rather than just having one or two of these products that you're working on by itself, right? So having the full scope of things and not just a standalone doing a portion of it. Anything to add on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly that. It's creating an ecosystem of tech for your firm. So that way you're able to maximize, honestly, on both sides, right? We want to maximize the lead conversions. You want to understand where your marketing dollars are going. It's expensive marketing. And then also we want to see on the case that they go all the way through. So having both of those, I think, is really important for a firm to see from start all the way to resolution, right? We want to make sure that your investments in these tools are paying off and almost making it like that was such an easy decision to have tech like this because of what it's paying back to you. So I think we've
All
covered a
right.
lot here.
Yeah. And just the last thing to add on this before we go to our key takeaways is once again, there's no one solution for all law firms. Every law firm is going to have a different workflow. Every law firm is going to have different needs and different paths and different client journeys. So going back to that first key to success of identifying your workflow is the most crucial one. And I just want to reiterate that because maybe you've done exercises as a team, as a law firm to identify this, but really putting that into play. There's consultants out there that, this is what they do. They help with this process. If you don't have the time or the knowledge or the understanding, right? Or maybe you're stuck on this, but really mapping this out is going to help you choose your technology. It's going to help you understand where your firm needs help. It's going to understand where your firm doesn't need help, and also just kind of it's just crucial. It's the foundation for buying any technology, working with any technology, and then understanding that and working with technology that syncs together. Um, so that was a lot of information that we went through, but just in terms of key takeaways, these are the things I really think if you leave, you come away with this. And by the way, I'll go ahead and preface if you have questions, we have some questions in there. Please feel free to put those in the question and answer section. The key takeaways from this understanding the difference. CRM and case management, not the same. They work together. They have unique complementary features, whether it be the reporting, they unique roles in terms of your workflow and where they manage. And the best part is they should work together, should integrate, create streamlined, seamless workflow for everything like that, which brings to the next key takeaway is streamlining for success. Ensure that your firm is utilizing products that integrate seamlessly, native integrations, if you can, maximizes your efficiency and your ROI. Determine your client journey, identify what that looks like and map it out. Take the time to understand where your client falls in each step of your firm's workflow. It's a crucial foundational piece to help identify in the first step in understanding where tech can help your firm. And then lastly, track and analyze. Doing all of this is great. Putting all of this in place is great. But if you're not pulling KPIs, metrics, reporting to understand what you're doing and where things are falling through, where your money's going, where the inefficiencies are, it's not going to help. It may help, but you could get so much more out of it as long as if you're tracking and making sure you're going through this. Um, Once again, the team at my case, the team at Lawmatics, we integrate. Lawmatics is a CRM product. My case is a case management product. We integrate. We have a strong relationship, and we can help you with any of these things that are on there, either team. So yeah, so that was a lot of information, but we're excited to get to the Q&A part. So please, we have some in here. So one of the first ones is, yes, Lawmatics, in my case, like I just said, we do have a relationship. We have a partnership, we have an integration, and all of the client data that you gathered during the intake process can go directly into the my case side of things. Amanda, do you have anything to add in terms of what happens once all of the information from Lawmatics pushes over?
Yeah, I mean, once it pushes over, now you have an active case. So it really just helps you dive right into the legal work, right? The important work that you all do and being able to track that. So it's great that we have this native connection because as mentioned before, like integrations like Zapier, there can be limitations to what data gets pushed over. We have a great relationship, so I think that's something to note because when you see a workflow, you can offer us feedback. And since we talk to each other, we can make updates like that. It obviously depends on roadmaps, but like we're able to take real customer feedback and implement that. And I think that's really important about these native integrations that you don't get with Zapier. If you have a question, you have a phone number that you can call for Lawmatics and for my case. So you're getting personalized help when you reach out. So I think those are two like big things to note about a native integration versus a third party integration.
For sure. Let's see. And so we also have, um, this is great, but how do you grow with multiple offices? Austin, San Antonio, and Dallas are all clients on the one database. Are metrics all trackable in separate divisions or teams? And how do you separate the different offices? So from the CRM standpoint, this is a great question. So you can set up, different offices and different locations in your CRM settings, and we can help you with that. So that you can pull different reporting for different aspects. You can lock down user visibility as well. So if you don't want Austin employees to see the Dallas data because it may complicate things or make things all jammed up, we can do that. But you can set it with different. We have plenty of firms that have multiple locations and multiple offices, whether it's through tagging, adding different trackable links and things like that. We can definitely help with that. From the case management side, Amanda, do you want to touch on that?
Yeah, so same thing. You can set up different offices within the case management solutions. So that way, when you are pulling reporting, you can do it based on the location. So same thing. It's great that you have all of that data in one place. Some firms I have seen honestly use two different case managements for offices as well. So it really depends. They'll have one case management set up for Austin, one set up for San Antonio, but some like to combine, and we have both of those options available for you.
For sure. Um, Also, their cost associated with Zapier. Zapier, I believe, it's a third party. For those of you who don't know Zapier, Zapier is a third party software that helps products integrate, and you can actually create streamlined, kind of customized integrations. I know they have a free version. I know they also have a cost, but you would have to check with them on that. And then I'm interested in operation questions such as who follows the workflows and making sure we are taking care of each client in a timely manner. Okay. Going through, just trying to get all of these questions here. Let's see. So here's a good one. So we currently use Lawmatics. It's great. For our firm, it is estate planning primarily, and I've been able to automate nearly all of the tasks as we go through the planning process with the client. What can my case add on to that or enhance? And what automations are automation track tasks by user and provide scheduling and reminders?
Yeah, so within my case, we do have workflows as well that will automate tasks. So it will sign out to a user. We do have automations inside as well, both internal and external reminders. You have a centralized calendar so you can see all of your upcoming dates. So it's really just kind of it's taking what's great in Lawmatics, pushes it into my case. That's going to create your active case. That's where you can start with your workflows of what are the actual tasks that need to be completed. We have document automation features, which I know are huge for estate planners. Your time and billing is tracked in there, or flat fees. If you do flat fee, we can go ahead and set someone up on a payment schedule, things like that. So those are all different ways that we can help automate for estate planning firms.
Awesome. And let's see. This one says, if you work in my case, does it give you an option to automatically bill your time into Lawmatics? As of right now, the billing is all through my case. So if you're doing your work in my case, your billing will be going through my case as well. The Lawmatics side of things, our time and billing does not integrate, and it was really just it's a light version of what you're able to do within my case. Um, and let's see. We do work with consultants. This says, do you work with consultants that can help law firms that need additional help? 100%. So I
Cool.
know Lawmatics, we have a vast network of consultants and marketing agencies that can help you from the Lawmatics side and the marketing side. And I know, Amanda, you can touch on this, but I know y'all have a large group as well of consultants that know the product.
Yeah, so we also have a large network of consultants that help, and honestly, we could probably help identify consultants who work with both products for you. Just giving you like a better list of someone who's understands both products pretty easily right out the gate. So we can definitely provide lists like that out to firms.
Sure. All right, we have a couple more questions, and then if you have anything else, please feel free. One is, can you create custom newsletters in Lawmatics? 100%. So that's something that we can show you, but it's definitely in there. You can import your own, or you can create them within the software. And then let's see, we have I would like to see possible see alerts notifications if there has not been a follow-up call on other items. 100%. So in Lawmatics, we have that ability where you can flag things. You can have, if it's past a certain date where a follow-up call, it's going to give you an alert saying, hey, this is 5 days past due for this task. And you can set up tasks for anything, follow-up emails, calls. They haven't received or responded to this. You can set all of that up. In my case, I believe you could do the same thing.
Yep. Yep, you'll have notifications. You'll have like pending or open tasks. That way you can check what is left to follow up, what phone calls may have been missed, or any other items. You'll have all of that in your centralized location as well.
Awesome. And then last question. This is my favorite question I get on every webinar is, can I get a demo? Do you offer demos? 100% we offer demos, Barry. And for anyone else who's interested in demos, and that was perfect segue to our QR codes here. If you'd like to learn more about Lawmatics, in my case, feel free, snap these QR codes. It'll take you directly to the right spot. Feel free to reach out to us as well. Go to either of our websites. We would love to show you how our products work together, how the integration will help your firm, and go through full demos of each product. Obviously, we're going to show you Lawmatics, and Amanda's team's going to show you my case. But both teams are trained to show you how it works, talk through the entire process with you. If you have questions about consultants or anything like that, I've seen a bunch of questions about that. Feel free to reach out. We can give you a list. There's plenty of them out there. You can email us. We'll have the emails. All of our contact information is on the website. But it's definitely huge. And once again, my name is Blake Roberts at Lawmatics, and you can email me at blake.roberts@Lawmatics. I'll put mine in there as well. So Amanda did hers. And then Amanda Connolly from my case, also Finipay, which is the parent company.
Yep.
And so I don't think we have any more questions. Amanda, this has been fantastic having you. Excited for this and excited for the engagement we got today. If you have any questions, we're putting our emails in the chat here. And if not, we'll see you guys next time. We will have another webinar coming up in July, so we're excited about that. But once again, Amanda, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
It's
you for
been
having me.
great as always. And thank you, everyone. We will be sending out a recording in the coming days. Probably, I think probably tomorrow you'll see that. So yeah, we're excited. Our emails are in there. Please feel free to reach out. We'd love to talk to you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks so much.